Islam God.
Islam.
Islam God, man.
Islamism. I am Dr. Soraya Rehum Musa Principle of the Maryland Consulate. Rising, giving praise to the Almighty God Allah, His Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, forerunner Marcus Messiah Garvey, our theocratic government, all my Moorish kin, everything that is Moorish, all of the youth, and yet born. Say peace, love, and gratitude. And welcome to we are a microcosm of the macrocosmic universe, children's Zoom class. Again, I am Dr. Musa Bey. Title of the class is Principle of Correspondence. Guest host, Student Minister Nicole Williams El-Bey, Maryland Consulate, North American Government. The objective, to continue our open-minded discussion about the principles of correspondence. We have words to be defined. They are truth, falsehood, belief, faith, phenomena, above and below. Our readings will come from the Holy Quran of North America, Circle 7, chronological order, chapter 11, the friendship of Yehoshua and Lamaz. Yehoshua explains to Lamaz the meaning of truth. Pages 14 and 15. We'll also be reading from the Kabbalion, pages 55 through 63. We will have a YouTube presentation, The Principles of Correspondence, the Kabbalion. When the floor is open, the question on the floor will be, do I have a clear understanding of how the principle of correspondence is used? Again, the question is, do I have a clear understanding of how the principle of correspondence is used? I will say when we use these YouTube videos, they are not ours. We do not own the rights to these videos. We use them exclusively for educational purposes only. And now I'd like to open with prayer. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Islam, everyone. I'm Dr. Terrell Freeman L. of the Maryland Consulate, rising to giving praise to the great God Allah, Father of the universe, and highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. Want to give high honors to our Moorish American government, our Moorish American theocratic government. Want to give high honors to all officials and all citizens of said government. Want to give high honors to all counselors of said government. Want to give high honors to everyone that is here with us, especially our youth. Islam, salvation, our God, unity. The Divine Constitution of Moorish America. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The Bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh. And on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. This is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why the great God of the universe, subhanAllah, this is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been opened according to law, we say Islam, Islam, Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Nicole Williams El-Bey of the Maryland Consulate. I rise giving praise to the great God of the universe. High honors to our prophet. High honors to our ancestors. High honors to all the Moors here, there, and everywhere. Welcome to another Wednesday's Zoom class. Before the meditation, I would like to send love and hugs to everyone that needs them. And I pray to the great God that they feel like a hug from your favorite person. Islam. Islam.
Islam is gratitude for that measure. Those tones have healing properties, and just allow ourselves to tune in. be consistent. It can help to heal ills that we're dealing with as well. Islam, Senior Deputy Counsel General Anwar L. Sir, can you read chapter 11 from the Circle 7 for me, please?
Yes, I got it.
Got it.
Islam. Once again, I rise, giving perfect praise to the great God, Allah, honor to his prophets, honor to the last prophet these days and time, prophet Noah to our lead. Give honor to the Royal Council of the North American government, all the officials, all the citizens. Give honor, we honor you, give honor to all of you, give honor to this Maryland Council Zoom meeting and everyone in participation. Chapter 11, the friendship of Yehoshua and Lamas. Yehoshua explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. Among the priests of Jagannath was one who loved the Jewish boy. Lamas Ramas was the name by which the priest was known. One day, as Yehoshua and Lamas walked alone in Plaza Jagannath, Lamas said, "My Jewish master, what is truth?" And Yehoshua said, "Truth is the only thing that changes not. In all the world, there are two things. One is truth, the one is truth, and the other is falsehood, and falsehood that which seems to be. Now, truth is art and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. Whatever has been made will be unmade. That which began must end. All things that can be seen by human eyes are manifest of art, are not, and so must pass away. The things we see are but reflex, just appearing, while the ethers vibrate so and so. And when conditions change, they disappear. The holy breath is truth, is that which was and is and evermore shall be. It cannot change, nor pass away. Lama said, "You answer well. Now, what is man?" And Yehoshua said, "Man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Man is the breath made flesh. So truth and falsehood are conjoined in him. And then they strive. And naught goes down, and man as truth abides." Again, Lama stacks, "What do you say of power?" And Yehoshua said, "It is a manifest, is the result of force. It is but naught. It is an illusion, nothing more. Force changes not, but power changes as the ethers change. Force is the will of Allah and is omnipotent, and power is that which is that will in manifest, directed by the breath. There is a power in the wind, a power in the waves, a power in the lightning stroke, a power in the human arm, a power in the eye. The ethers cause these powers to be and thought of Elohim, of angel, man, and other thinking things directs the force. When it has done its work, the power is no more." And Lamas asks, "Of understanding, what have you to say?" And Yehoshua said, "It is the rock on which man builds himself. It is the gnosis of the art and of the knot of falsehood and of truth. It is the knowledge of the lower self, the sensing of the powers of man himself." Again, Lamas asks, "Of wisdom, what have you to say?" And Yehoshua said, "It is the consciousness that man is art, that Allah and man are one. The naught is naught, that naught is naught, that power is but an illusion, that heaven and earth and, and hell, that heaven and earth and hell are not above, around, below, but in, which in the light of art becomes naught, and Allah is all. Longest act, pray. What is faith? And your host will say, faith is the surety of the omnipotence of Allah and man, the certainty that man will reach deific light. Salvation is a ladder reaching from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. It has 3 steps. Belief is first, and this is what man thinks perhaps is true. And faith is next, and this is what man knows is true. Fruition is last, and this is man himself, the truth. Belief is lost in faith, and in fruition, faith is lost. And man is saved when he has reached deific light, when he and Allah are one. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, gratitude for that measure, that reading, Senior Deputy Counsel General Anwar Ali L.
Gratitude.
We'll be moving on to the Master Words of Study. Let me see if I can't get them up here.
Islam.
Islam.
The master words of study are truth, falsehood, belief, faith, phenomena, above and below. And I'm going to read the small portion of the principle. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above, the Kabbalah. The principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and life. The old Hermetic axiom ran in these words, as above, so below, as below, so above. And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many a dark paradox, a hidden secret of nature. There are planes beyond our knowing, but when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that will otherwise be unknowable to us. This principle is of universal application and manifestation on the various planes of the material, mental, and spiritual universe. It is in universal law. The ancient Hermetists considered the principle as one of the most important mental instruments by which man was able to pry aside the obstacles which hid from view the unknown. Its use even tore aside the veil of Isis to the extent that a glimpse of the face of the goddess might be caught. Just as a knowledge of the principles of geometry enables man to measure distant suns and their movements while seated in his observatory, so a knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. Studying the monad, he understands the archangel. Islam. Our first master word of study is truth. Do I have any more with their measure on truth? Islam.
Islam. Islam, Islam, Islam. I'm Terrell Freeman L. Praise and honors reiterated. For truth, I have the quality or state of being true, specifically loyalty, trustworthiness, sincerity, genuineness, honesty. And that's all I will contribute.
Islam.
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 Minister Sharon Khadijah Bay, rise, giving praise to God, Allah, honest to his prophet, honest for honest are due, honest to divine guidance, honest to Act One, honest to the Moors online in the class today, and most important, honest to our citizens and children. Similar definition for truth, I had the quality or state of being true, a fact or belief that is accepted as truth. Islam.
Islam. Minister Anwar.
Islam, having already risen, truth, the absolute, that which accords with God as divine principle, that which is, has been, and ever will be, that which eternally is. Islam.
Islam. Our
Islam.
next.
Islam. Deputy Counsel General Saray Musa Principle of Bey, already risen and given praise. From I have my definition of truth in metaphysics and the philosophy of language, the property of sentences, assertions, beliefs, thoughts, or propositions that are said in ordinary discourse to agree with the facts or to state what is the case. Islam.
Islam. Our next master word of study is falsehood. Do I have any more with their measure for falsehood? Islam.
Islam. Deputy Counsel General Saray Musa Bey, again, rising, giving praise to the Almighty God, Allah, His only prophet, Noble Drew Ali, forerunner Marcus Mosiah Garden. Falsehood, the state of being untrue, a lie or outright lying. Islam.
Islam. Minister Anwar.
Islam. Falsehood. Falsehood is a falsehood is a statement that distorts fact. Islam.
Islam. Dr. Freeman L.
Gratitude. Islam, everyone. I'm Dr. Terrell Freeman L. Praise and honors reiterated. I just wanted to camelback on those mighty measures from our Moorish kin. For falsehood, I have lack of accuracy or truth, falsity, deception, and Moorish definition, falsehood is that which seems to be.
Islam. Dr. Malik El-Bey.
Islam, 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 and first and foremost, I rise and give praise to Almighty God, Allah, and giving honor to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, giving honor to our theocratic government of Moorish America, give honor to all of our officials of Moorish America, give honor to all of our children of Moorish America, all of our people, all over the planet Earth for being indigenous to the whole planet Earth. I want to give honor where honor is due, give honor to this class, give honor to you, Minister, for hosting this class. I just want to put the prophet out front when it comes to these definitions, and truth is art, and art is a law, and yet it is the cause of everything. Most of the things that, like the definitions that are read from the dictionary, is a commentary of truth. But the truth here is speaking about that which does not begin with time. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. So according to the prophet Noble Drew Ali, when we get into truth and falsehood, he's talking about those things that are infinite and won't pass away, and those things that begin with time and has a beginning, so it will have an end. Islam, gratitude.
Islam. Next, we have belief. Do I have any more with their measure on belief?
Islam.
Islam.
Deputy Counsel General Surya Musa, Principle of El-Bey. For belief, an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists, trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. Islam. According to our more studies, it's the first step in something coming to fruition. Belief, faith, and fruition. Islam.
Islam. We have Dr. Freeman L. and Dr. Anwar. Islam.
Islam and gratitude. Islam, I'm Terrell Freeman L. of the Maryland Consulate. A praise and honor is reiterated. That was a grand measure from my brother, Deputy Counsel General Principle of Bey. My small, and I concur completely. For belief, as he mentioned, that first step in the 3-step ladder, we know that belief in that first step of unfolding is that which that perhaps may be true. And when we go to different commentary in a dictionary, let's see here, we have the state of believing, conviction, or acceptance that certain things are true or real. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Belief. Belief is what man thinks perhaps is true. Also, belief is an inner acceptance of an idea as true. Belief is an inner acceptance of an idea as true. Belief also functions both consciously and subconsciously. Islam.
Islam. Belief from Science of the Mind. Belief, conviction or feeling of the truth of a proposition or condition. Belief may go no further than intellectual assent, while faith embodies a trust and confidence. Belief admits of all degrees, from the slightest suspicion to the fullest assurance. Islam. Our next master word of study is faith. Do I have any more with their measure for faith? Islam.
Islam. Islamism. I am Deputy Counsel General Surya Musa, Principle of El-Bey. Prayers and honors already given. For the dictionary, faith, complete trust or confidence in someone or something, or a strong belief in God. From the Moorish perspective, it is the second step on the way to fruition, faith, that which one knows is true. Islam.
Islam. Dr. Malik El-Bey.
Islam to Camelback off of the Deputy Counsel General, along with faith, such a beautiful word. Faith is the surety. Faith is the surety of the omnipotence of Allah and man, the certainty that man will reach deific life. Islam.
Islam, coming from Science of the Mind. I have faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is a mental attitude, so inwardly embodied that the mind can no longer deny it. Faith is complete when it is both a conscious and subjective acceptance. Faith may be consciously generated. In spiritual terminology, faith means a belief in the presence of an invisible principle and law which directly and specifically responds to us. Thy faith has made thee whole. Islam. We have Dr. Anwar.
You have to mute your mic, Minister Anwar.
Islam. Faith, the deceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. Spiritual assurance, the power to do seemingly impossible. It is a magnetic power that draws unto us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. Faith is a deep inner knowing that which is sought is already ours for the taking. Islam.
Islam. Our next master word of study is phenomena. Do I have any more with their measure for phenomena? Islam. Dr. Freeman L.
Gratitude, Goddess and Queen. Islam, I'm Terrell Freeman L. Praise and honor is reiterated. For phenomena, I want to contribute a few things. For phenomena, any fact, circumstance, or experience that is apparent to the senses and that can be scientifically described or appraised as an eclipse. The appearance or observed features of something experienced as distinguished from reality or the thing in itself. Any extremely unusual or extraordinary thing or occurrence. And lastly, a person with an extraordinary quality, aptitude, prodigy. Seemed like it covered some ground there from the near infinite to the finite. So Islam and gratitude.
Islam. Dr. Anwar.
Islam, having already risen. Phenomena, that which strikes one as strange, unusual, and unaccountable. Islam.
Islam. Coming from science of the mind, phenomena, the plural of phenomenon, that which strikes one as strange, unusual, and unaccountable. Our next master word of study is above. Do I have any more with their measure for above? Islam. Dr. Anwar.
Islam. Above, in a higher place, overhead, into us from heaven, parenthesis mind. Islam.
Islam. Is there anyone else with their measure for above? Islam. I have for above, in or to a higher place, or in an earlier part of a given text. Islam. Our final master word of study for today is below. Do I have any more with their measure for below? Islam.
Islam, Minister Sharon Khadijah Bey already visited. For below, I had something that's under, down, or it's like it's like synonyms and adjectives. No adjectives really. Something that's under, down, and it says below deck or below, like in a basement. I know that's not what we really going, but that's what I had. Islam.
Islam. Dr. Freeman L.
Islam. I think that was a grand measure by our Secretary of State, Dr. Sharon Khadijah Bey. And I'm going to try to give a small contribution. I have, out of the Merriam Dictionary, I have below, in or to a lower place. And then it gave some examples on earth, or to that lower floor, or to a lower floor or deck. And also the below in the consideration of lower in place or rank, inferior to. And that's all I have to contribute. Islam and gratitude.
Islam and gratitude for all of your measures. I wanted to read from the Science of Mind. Man begins to realize that his conditions are controlled by thought. In this way, man realizes that even his affairs were controlled by thought working through the avenue of the one mind. He discovered that by changing his thought, he could remold his affairs, and that by right thinking, he could bring into his life new conditions. But would there be enough to go around should everyone become prosperous? Yes, for instinctive life is limitless. And I also wanted to read one more thing from Science of Mind, something small. Oh, I went into a mountain. I have discovered a secret place within where the thought goes into a mountain, high above the den of the world. I have found in this mountain a place of peace and rest, a place of joy and comfort to the heart. I have found that the secret place of God is within my soul. Islam. And at this time, we are going to show the video, just a short, I think it's about 14 or 15 minutes of the law of correspondence being broken down. Islam.
Below, as below, so above. The second hermetic principle, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. From the title of my channel, you can probably assume that this is one of my favorite principles. And we will be delving into why exactly that is. In the previous episode, we talked about the first principle, the principle of mentalism, that the all is mind. Now, that video almost was half an hour long, and I will try to keep it a bit shorter in this video. This principle is a lot more easy to comprehend, and it is mainly by the rational mind. By the rational mind, it is a lot easier to understand this principle, and it can be seen as well, just by viewing it in this physical plane. So that is why usually this principle is a lot easier to comprehend, and that is also why it is a lot easier to start applying. Because of course, after all, what we're doing here, what we are here for, is not to so much learn the dogma and learn fancy stories and theories. What we're here to do is to apply these principles, apply these natural laws to bring about the change that we want in our lives, to manifest the things that we want and to create the things that we desire to have. So, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. What does that exactly mean, and how can we observe it?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it right now. I think I found the single biggest productivity hack of 2021. It's this Google Chrome extension called Speechify, and it literally does my reading for me.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts in 10 minutes. Or you're cramming for an exam the night before, but can't bear to keep your eyes open to read one more textbook chapter. Or you're reviewing a dense legal document that could change your life forever. Or you're proofreading your thesis one last time before you submit it.
We can observe it basically everywhere around us. This principle, like all the others, is universal, meaning that it is everywhere. You can't escape it. It is natural law. Just like you can't escape gravity, in this physical plane, you can't escape these laws anywhere else. Meaning that they're active on all planes. And if you read the Kabbalion, in the chapter when they talk about the law of correspondence, they also talk about the planes. Now, I won't delve into that that much in this video, since that is topic for future videos. A lot to discuss about those on themselves. The basic thing you need to know is that there are multiple planes, and to make things easy, there is the physical plane, the one we are experiencing right now with our rational mind. There is the mental plane, and there is the spiritual plane. And this might sound a bit woo-woo if you're new to all of this, so you don't need to pay attention too much to it. Just know that these laws operate on all the planes, and that they're, again, universal. They are everywhere, they can be escaped. And all of them are, but the law of correspondence definitely is, and of course can be viewed to be in that case. With the first law, the law of mentalism, principle of mentalism, it was a bit hard to comprehend, to understand. But with the law of correspondence, it is a lot easier. For example, as above, so below. Look, for example, at an atom. Now, of course, you can't physically look at an atom, not with the naked eye at least. But if you compare that to a solar system. If you compare it to a solar system, the way that functions, the way it travels through space, the way it moves the planets around the sun, it basically looks exactly the same. And this is the case with many different things. As it is on the most tiny level, so it is on the most grandest level. Now, of course, galaxy isn't the most grandest. There's, there's a lot. You can go a lot further than that, and you can observe these things. Basically, what reality is, physical reality, is just patterns. Patterns that keep repeating themselves, these fractal patterns. For example, if you look at the human eye, it resembles a helix nebula. And if you can, there's like thousands of these pictures online, you can just look at them, law of principle of correspondence, and there's just so many things that you see that the small things basically look exactly the same like the big things. Basically, these patterns just repeat themselves. And the most important part of this, because apparently, the above has influence on the below, that is all good. We can observe that, we can see that. But the thing that is useful for us, the thing that we can actually use, is the reverse. Is that the as below is also equal to the above. Now, this principle, it sort of made sense to me when I first heard it and when I first discovered that these things are all very similar to each other. The thing that really made it click for me was the sentence, not as above, so below, but as within, so without, and as without, so within. That is when this principle really started to make sense to me, and when I realized that I could use it. That I could use it to manifest the things that I wanted in my life. For example, most people, everybody, of course, is affected by these laws. Whether you're conscious consciously aware of them or not. And so most people, it is as without, so within. For example, people who have spent a great time, for example, they grew up in a very chaotic and maybe toxic environment, they, over the years, become themselves toxic, violent people. Then when they go to a different place, they turn that place into a toxic and violent environment, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. That is what happens to most people. And it can also be the reverse, of course. You know, it can be that people are surrounded by joy and happiness, and so they become joyous and happy people, right? That is why a lot of people feel at home in certain locations and feel better in certain environments. Right? Churches are aware of this. Temples are aware of this principle. They try to make the temple and then the church serene and holy. And so when you enter a church or a temple, you immediately start to feel more serene and holy, usually. We, though, however, want to turn this around. We want to change ourselves within so that the external world changes accordingly. When you become internally a happy and joyous person, then eventually that will reflect itself in your environment. If you want to become wealthy, if you want to become rich, first you must be rich and wealthy. And at first that sounds a bit silly, like how is that possible? Because surely being rich is a measure of one's wealth. Right, but can you really have wealth? Is ownership an actual thing? Surely it's organized by the law, you know, the saying, property or ownership is 9/10 of the law. That's definitely true. But these are not natural laws. These are laws that are created, made up. Therefore, being wealthy, being rich, really is a state of mind, in a sense. It's a vibration that you have, and then you attract the physical wealth that we associate with it. Money, gold, large houses, whatever it is you associate with wealth, then that starts to be attracted as well. So that is why this principle probably is one of the most useful ones, and it is exactly the reason of this channel. That is why I named it as above, so below, because this principle, using this principle, you can basically attain whatever you want. And it is really by changing the self that you start to change the external as well. And a lot of people simply focus on the external, even occultists or people into spirituality or who have some concepts, some basic understanding of these laws and principles. Even they tend to focus on the outside, focus on outside things, and they fail to utilize the power of changing the inside, changing yourself first, so that your external reality simply flows and changes to who you really are. And that is really the purpose of this channel and the purpose of what we will be doing here. Now,
if you're trying to make real money online, you need to stop with Amazon FBA, drop shipping.
Of course, the question is, how do you change the internal, right? It might be sometimes easier to change the external, or so it seems. But again, usually when, for example, you can see this in people who win the lottery, right? They win it, but usually their gains are wasted away in a couple of years, and it is because they never were wealthy people. It is possible to use the lottery with this, but I've had people ask me this, people I've mentored, that their sole goal is to win the lottery, and they want to win the lottery because they're poor and they need money. Well, that is of course the wrong way to get into it. First, you must be wealthy before you can win the lottery. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to have money. or physical possessions. You need to be wealthy at your inner core, at your very inner being. And we will get into ways, many different ways, to actually change the internal. And of course, this is really already the part where you can start to see that these principles all work together. They work together in a basically seamless way, effortlessly. They work together. The all is mind, the first principle, the principle of mentalism. Now that you know that the all is mind, and you know that as above, so below, we've talked about the superconscious mind in the previous video. If the superconscious mind is the above, let's say in this case, then you can have a sort of mini superconscious mind in the below, here at your disposal to create. If the creator and the divine God, whatever term you want to use, is above, then so it is below. So you are sort of a mini God that is able to create things. That is probably the best way to look at this. And this is really what people mean when they say, I am God. Or, for example, if you read authors like Neville Goddard, where he talks that basically you are God, that is basically what that means. You are not, well, you are the all, but you're also a part of the all, and I hate to use the term lesser version, but maybe more of a smaller reflection. Maybe that is the best way to put it. And this really, just these two principles together alone should really give you an amazing boost and a better understanding in trying to manifest things, trying to create things in accordance with your will, mind, and vibration. So I hope this makes sense. This is definitely a principle we will return to in many videos. So that's why I'll keep this video rather short, since I will be saying a lot of this same stuff in different ways in the future. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that I was able to make things click for you. If I did, please consider subscribing. I will be posting a lot more of these videos in the future, and it would be very nice to have you along for the journey.
Islam. As above, so below. The thought is the cause of it all. From the science of mind again, how to approach the spirit. If we wish to come to the spirit for the healing of our wounds, let us come in peace and with spontaneous joy, for the spirit is joy. Let us come with thanksgiving also, for a thankful heart is in harmony with life. But we must come in quiet confidence, with an open and receptive mind, a believing heart, naturally, sanely, and expectantly. In this way, we are entering the portals of reality, clad in garments of righteousness. We often think what we require is money, friends, and physical healing. After these things, do those who are outside of knowledge of law seek, and they do well, for we need all these things, but they are the effects of right relationships in life. All people need some form of healing. Most people are unhappy. Few have any realization of permanent peace. We seek fragments when the whole is at hand. To think that anything can rise higher than its source. The universe is a perfect, undivided whole, and healing can take place only when one is unified with it. How can anyone then be healed in part? Let us seek wholeness above all else. If we would come to the universal wholeness, we must approach it through the law of its own nature. This means that we must give our undivided attention to the spiritual unit back of all things. Since all else is included within this unit, we find our particular good only through unity with life. This conscious unity makes our mind receptive to completion, since life itself is complete. This perception is always an inner light, for the individual can use only such knowledge as he inwardly possesses. In reality, we know God or truth only as we ourselves embody God or truth. And since it is impossible to embody anything outside ourselves, this knowledge must be an inner light. The truth itself is infinite, but we only embody the infinite in degree. To the degree that we do embody reality, we become poised and powerful. Islam. So do we have any comments about the videos or the readings at this time?
Islam. I believe we were going to call on our Counsel General, Dr. Malik El-Bey, and see what he has to say in this at this moment, if he's available. Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Gratitude, Deputy Counsel General, for that introduction and giving honor, rising always, giving praise to Almighty God, Allah. And the reason why we do that, so we can acknowledge, the creator that created everything that was, is, and evermore that will be. This is a recognition. This is a realization. When you give, it's not just a religious salutation, it's an acknowledgement from where I, myself, because every tongue must confess his own, must draw their strength, because law governs all events. And giving honor to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us everything that it takes in order to save us as a nation of people. However, he brought us these teachings, or these 18 missing years that was abstracted from the Holy Bible, or the Septuagint, or that's what it was first called, known as the words of the Greeks, who rewrote their interpretation of all of the ancient scripts. Giving honor to the 7 Hermetic principles, especially this principle here, the law of correspondence, which is actually ancient teachings of Kemet. When you're dealing with the Hermes, you're talking about Jehudi. You're talking about the God of wisdom. We're not talking about nothing spooky. We're talking about the ideal. See, Prophet Noble Drew Ali made these lessons practical to us, because, see, we couldn't really actually comprehend these things because they appeared to be too abstract. So we had to, love and purity had to be, the creator had to put purity and love in the form of flesh that we may comprehend. So what does that mean? That means that we all have to become the message that we bring. Giving honor to the Maryland Council and giving honor to the host and the teacher, the instructor of this class, for such a beautiful presentation and the way she laid it out. Giving honor to our listeners and hoping that they are catching on to the presentations or the information is being put out there, because the intent behind these classes to help our people heal. To help our people heal, this is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches us the nearest place we can meet God is in the heart. Well, where are we talking about? The heart of our mind, the center. This is where we think everything, wisdom speak from the highest plane of spirit life, that's right. Everything is above the net. So we try to teach our people how to focus within. So the law of correspondence is definitely that principle. And I want to read something from the Science of the Mind, because that's a book that we use to give explanation to the prophet's teachings, because it's right in harmony. On page 306, the law of correspondence, it says that the limit of our ability to demonstrate depends, here we go, upon our ability to provide a mental equivalent. See, that's where the trial and the test come in at. Because see, most of us, our focus of attention is outside of ourselves. So your ability to provide a mental equivalent will depend of our desires for the law of correspondence. You reap what you sow. As a man thinketh, so is he. You find yourself, we can solve your problem best. See, nobody don't do anything to you per se. The way that you think is what could determines what happens to you. You understand? It's your reactions. Because see, trials and tribulations are here. We were put in the human form so we can perfect our will. This whole life of what life actually spend the bill is to build a temple perfected man. Even the national side of this divine and national movement, this whole nationalism thing is a part of the trials and tribulations of us as Moorish people to perfect our will. Because see, when you listen to the things that are being said, when it comes down to the earth realm or the national side of the movement, everybody seems to be in one. What happened to drawing the strength from the source from which we come? What happened to chapter 1? What happened to understanding what life is actually spinning the bill? Because if you miss the point, the law of correspondence is set in motion based on your thought pattern. And as a result of that thought pattern will be the very thing that will manifest in your life. It say works from the belief to the thing. But it is within our power, once again, to provide a greater mental equivalent through the unfolding of consciousness, and this growth from within will finally lead to freedom. So it's not strange that we have so many diagnoses as a direct result of misplaced thought, or not having a clear understanding or conception of who we actually are. I'm not talking about the body. The soul has a purpose, and the reason why the Creator gave it to us in the first place, but knowing who you are is to be what Allah made you. The image of Allah is the soul that He gave us. So He gave us a soul so we can think, reason, willing, and understand what? To build, to be one with Him, to be one with God, to exercise and set in motion the laws of the universe. It's not strange. The name of this class is the macrocosm on the microcosm. We're just a smaller unit of the bigger unit, but we're actually one. We're actually one. And when we get a clear understanding of that, we can use our mind properly, and we can heal ourselves from all of the diseases or those things that appear to be real. We can put everything in its proper place, but it takes practice on a day-to-day basis. And each soul is accountable for their own actions. It's a how do it works. The sciences that we're talking about, right, are objectively real to us, but guess what? Only in so as far we can demonstrate them, and until demonstrated, they are suppositional so far as practical results are concerned. So you can listen to this all day long, But until you can provide the right mental equivalent and bring what you hear into practice, then your conditions will not change. You can talk that talk, we can talk that talk, but it's all about becoming the message that you bring. That's why we have the 3-step ladder. The advantage lies not in the possession, but lies in the use of it. We see a many come and a many go, who proclaim to know this knowledge, but the proclamation is shown in your demonstration, because your demonstration is a manifestation as from that above to that below. So I'm gonna just stop right there because I'm fired up. I'm pumped up from this great class. I get pumped up when you talk about these lessons. All praises be to Allah, and honor to our holy prophet, honor to the teacher, the instructor of the class, and honor where honor is due. Islam, gratitude.
Islam. Thank you for that grand measure. And I want to go back to ayat 19. Again, Lamas asked, of understanding, what have you to say? And Yehoshua says, it is the rock on which man builds himself. It is the gnosis of the ought and of the naught, of falsehood and of truth. It is the knowledge of the Lord's self, the sensing of the powers of man himself. Islam. So we have it in our instructions. We just need to follow the instructions. And the law of correspondence from the science of mind, I'm going to read that as well. The limit of our ability to demonstrate depends upon our ability to provide a mental equivalent of our desires, for the law of correspondence works from the belief to the thing. But it is within our power to provide a greater mental equivalent through the unfolding of consciousness, and this growth from within will finally lead to freedom. What we demonstrate today, tomorrow, and the next day is not as important as the tendency which our thought is taking, the dominant attitude of our mind. If every day things are a little better, a little happier, a little more harmonious, a little more healthier, subhanAllah, giving and joyous, if each day we are expressing more life, we are going in the right direction. And so we meditate daily upon the universe of the all good, the infinite indwelling spirit, which we call God, the Father incarnate in man, trying to sense and to feel this indwelling, good as the active principle of our lives. This is what the mystics call the man of the heart, or the angel of God's presence. This is why they taught that there are always two, for there is what we seem to be and what we really are. As we contact this higher principle of our own lives, which is perfect and complete, needing nothing, wanting nothing, knowing everything, being happy and satisfied. And as we daily meditate upon this indwelling God, we shall acquire a greater mental equivalent. For those who have always dwelt on limited thoughts, a very good practice is to dwell upon the magnitude of the universe. Think how many stars there are, how many fish there are in the sea, and how many grains of sand on the beaches. Think of how big the ocean is, of the immensity of space, the bigness of everything, the grandeur of everything. Mechanically, if necessary, compel the mentality to cognize reality. Compel the consciousness to recognize truth through reason. if no other conviction comes. Think, see, and feel actively. Radiate life. Feel that there is that within which is the center and circumference of the universe. The universe is the result of the self-contemplation of God. Our lives are the result of our self-contemplations, and our people with the personifications of our thoughts and ideas. Accept this without question, for it is true. Nothing is real to us unless we make it real. Nothing can touch us unless we let it touch us. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Refuse to receive anyone's condemnation. In the independence of your own mentality, believe and feel that you are wonderful. This is not conceit, it is the truth. What can be more wonderful than the manifestation of the infinite mind? Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. Prove me now, herewith saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you to the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Be firm, and ye shall be made firm. Act as though I am, and I will be. On-look thou the deity, and the deity will on-look thee, as thou hast believed. So be it done. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall prosper. Islam.
Islamism. Gratitude for that class and that reading at the end. Question on the floor, as the floor is about to be opened up. Do I have a clear understanding why the principles of correspondence is used? Do I have a clear understanding why the principles of correspondence is used? I would like to go to the Secretary of State if she is available.
Islam.
Islam. Do you have any measure for this particular question?
Could we repeat the question, please?
Sure. Do I have a clear understanding of how the principle of correspondence is used?
Islam.
Mhm.
Yes. Because when you're corresponding with another person, the universe, it's like getting feedback. It's like reciprocal. It's being reciprocated. And sometimes you don't even have to use words. It's just by your thoughts and that you receive, because the spirit receives it and it does. That's what it do. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to say, wait a minute, hold up, come back to me in 7 days. That's why the prophet say the thought is the cause of it all. So, a lot of times we make it way out there. And I say, we just have to learn how to think. Because the prophet said, if you can think, you can save yourself. We try to make it way out there in the cosmos somewhere. And to start with us, start with you. And when I say us, I'm putting myself in it. And it ends with us, with our thinking. So it's always a grand, intimate class on Wednesdays to help us tune up, to get through the rest of the week and deal with what we have to deal with, external forces. But the main thing we have to deal with is our own internal forces. Islam and peace.
Islam.
Islam.
Gratitude for that measure. Go ahead, Goddess.
I was just saying gratitude. That was the grand measure. Islam. I believe we have a Minister Anwar hand is up. Islam.
Islam. Islam. I was watching the movies and I was listening to the narrator, and one thing that he said, which I understood from my reading and research, is that even if you're not aware of the law of correspondence, principle of correspondence, even if you're not aware of it, it's going to affect you anyway. And I've said from time to time, and I think he mentioned it in there, that as above, so below is natural law. It's constantly moving in the universe, you know, and it also can be but along with principles of correspondence, we have this law of cause and effect. That's right along the same line. And I went to our divine constitution of Moorish America, and there are about 11 or 12 words called one must. And the prophet put that in there because trying to get everybody to vibrate from a level of love. And I just want to read Act 3 says, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. And that in itself is letting you know that, look, we got our actions should always come from love. Because if not, the universe is going to take that negativity and put it right back on you. You know, even if you're aware of it or not. That too is the law of correspondence. And also, karma falls underneath of that heading too. What you put out there, you can get back, you know? And that's kind of like we used to say in the neighborhood, what you put out there is gonna come back at you. You know, that's just a form of that correspondence. If your thoughts are on a positive vibration, most of the time, you're gonna get a favorable reply from the universe. You know, some people pray and their prayers, they figure that their prayers are not answered. And then they wonder why did Minister Anwar prayers get answered and they're not mine? It's because of this, you know. I may pray, and just like I read a little while ago about faith, you know, you put it out there and you already got it. It's already there. But some people, and I'll close with this, some people will pray for $100. Say, hypothetically. They'll pray for $100, but in their mind, they saying, well, if I get 75, I'll be all right. And then they take it down even more. $50 will take care of what I need. And then the reality of it is you don't get anything at all, you know, and that's that law of correspondence working. Stay at that level that you already got it, and you will receive it. The universe will not deny you. It won't deny you, but you got to have a mindset that's on that level of divinity. Peace and love, Lord.
Islam, gratitude for that grand measure.
Gratitude.
Thought is the cause of it all.
Yep.
Whatever you think you're going to get, that's what you're going to get. And like you said, if you want $100, there can't be any doubt in your mind that that's what the universe is going to give you. If you start changing your mind, then the universe is going to assume that you don't want it. So instead of you sending the $100 that you originally wanted, you'll get nothing because you changed your mind about it. So the universe oblige. So you changed your mind. You don't want the $100. Okay, so you're fine with having nothing. So that's what you'll get. Islam.
Leave Deputy Counsel General Freeman had his hand raised.
Islam and gratitude, my good brother, Deputy Counsel General Principle El-Bey and Islam. I'm Terrell Freeman of the Maryland Consulate, rising again to give praise to the great God, Allah, Father of the universe, and highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. I want to give high honors to everything that is Moorish, everyone in attendance, and especially want to give high honors to our goddess, Nicole Williams El-Bey, the teacher for the class, but she's a sister, goddess, and queen to us every day. And that's what this lesson, reminds me to find in myself in even clearer ways. This is because I can understand this lesson, I'm going to say yes to the question on the floor. However, there's always room for growth, and that is how one keeps away from those stagnation and things that that came from up on high, becoming too crystallized and murky in the worldly ways that we end up traversing through one way or another, whether it be old tradition or just bad habit, but thought is the cause of it all. And so improving the pattern of thinking through some honest, through some honesty and sincerity with the universe, with the creator of the universe, known by many names, not choose to call him by the sweet name of Allah. And that oneness, I know from any day I trip and stutter and have to remind myself of what I know. Oh yeah, that's right. More room for improvement, and it becomes more exciting because this is what life is meant for, as referenced in our holy text. Honors again to the prophet for making it palatable for the world, but it speaks my language. It speaks my language in addition to that golden chord. You know it when you see it, you hear it, and you feel it. And it all, this harmony that comes about, that's for the inner heart and mind to figure out. And to figure out, in parentheses, is how you are one with it too. How it lives within you, how you live with it. There's a oneness there. And with the work that we are called to do, to take what has been brought to us and to, as a nation, and to save ourselves with this, oh man, these universal laws, critical. Because you're going to hear them and see them 1,001 ways. That's just how the universe works. But we're a part of it. So to be able to see it in oneself and to have that love, to know that you are a thought of the creator, to know that this finite, it's given to you for a duty. It has its purpose. But that soul, that's where those activities, the activities of thinking, willing, reasoning, remembrance, and understanding. Now that's where we live. That's where we work from. That's what allows us to be the Lord of the plane of soul and the Lord of the plane of the things made manifest. That doesn't make us the best until you know it and show it. And again, all the ways it's been explained, it's a process. And that process absolutely includes manifestation, the fruition, this movement, this divine and national union, all in the flesh of man, and building on that understanding, standing upon it, understanding that this is for the young and yet not born. It's not just for us to get it and keep it. Oh man, if we take what we have, the peace within, the heaven within, that love within, and extend that to more than a friend, woo, there's going to be some freedom and justice within that too. And so that's what we're here to do. It feels great when we do it because it is natural. It's a phenomena to be a part of and moreover one with. So, gratitude for a grand lesson, and moreover, just honest to everybody for being here, because this unity, this truth inside you and me and all of humanity is really what life is worth living, and it makes working even more worthwhile. So gratitude and peace and love.
Gratitude for that grand measure. Do we have anyone else?
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, Islam, guidance, Islam, beautiful class, beautiful class. I just want to add to all the beautiful measures that was put into the ethers that, we honor our Father God Allah when we honor man. Whatever man does for man, he does for his Father God Allah. And this is, how we serve, Allah, by serving man. Whatever we do to do for our next of kin, those who are of no kin, the stranger at the gate, and the one who seeks to do us harm. We serve Allah through Allah, man is served through man. And this is nothing spooky. However, it's been made to look that way because we have sons who have taken oaths, who took the light and shined it in a whole nother direction to have people follow them and looking outside of themselves, which will actually interfere with your connection. It's like not being plugged up or hooked up right. It's like having a shortage in your extension cord or in your cord that you need to be plugged up to the socket in order for the electricity to get a full blast. You've been taught and trained to always go through a middleman. Even in religion, we were taught to go through Jesus. But Jesus, or the man that was called Jesus, Yehoshua, who was a Christ, didn't teach that. He taught that it's the Father who doeth the work in him. And he also said that what I am, all men shall be, and what I've done, all men shall do, and even greater things. And he was teaching that Allah and man was actually one. So he demonstrated, and all of the other prophets demonstrated the possibilities of man. So I just wanted to put that out there in the ethers to take the spookism out of whatever so-called religion that one may be practicing at this time. Because your teacher or instructor should be instructing you to hook your mind up with the universe. You should be getting a clear picture or being taught how to see yourself being one with the universe. So if you're being taught racism, if you're taught hatred, if you're taught that you're superior to somebody else, then that's a form of division that will disconnect you with the whole. And this is why we have so much cruelty in the world, because the lack of unity, the lack of love. This class, I want to give honor to this class on Wednesdays. Like I said, it's such a beautiful demonstration. And, we hope that more tune into the class every Wednesday. And we're live on, YouTube also, and what's that, LinkedIn? Yeah, we're live on the other social medias that we hope, our prayer and our intention is to get this message of hope and love out to our people, to the universe, to humanity. Because this is what we actually born to do, is to become love and purity made manifest. So I want to just say all praises be to Allah, Honor to our holy prophet, and give honor where honor is due. Islam gratitude.
Islam, it starts with you and ends with you. And that's the understanding that we have to come to, because the universe responds to us because we are a part of the universe. So if you always, sad about everything or mad about everything, that is a choice. And the universe doesn't know that that's not what you want, because that's all you're doing and that's all you're thinking about. So the universe will respond by giving you more of that, more sadness, more madness. It is up to us to change our minds and decide what it is we want and stand firm on it. Stop going back and forth. Do you want to be happy or you don't? It's a decision that only we can make on an individual level. We have to decide, that we want the good things in life, the best things in life, because the universe is at our will. It's going to give us whatever we desire. But if you desire things, if you are contemplating on things that you don't desire, the universe is not responding to what you're not saying. They're responding to what you're saying. I don't have, I'm sick. Okay, so the universe is saying, okay, you don't have and you sick. So from our understanding, this is what you want. So we're going to give you all of that and more of sickness and being unhappy. So regardless of our life's traumas, we still have the choice to heal from that. We may not be responsible for those traumas, but we are definitely 100% responsible for healing from those traumas. That is our personal responsibility. And we need to get to it. Get to it. And it's just really comes down to making a decision and deciding what it is that we want and focus on that. But if you don't know what you want, you're going to be all over the place and you're going to get all sorts of things. So again, it starts with us and it ends with us and how we're thinking and how we're behaving. That is all personal things. And if we want better, we have to do better. Islam.
Islam gratitude, God, for that closing measure. Gratitude for this class. And I'm sure that we are starting to have more people grasp the understandings of these Hermetic principles and how they relate to our more sciences. I want to credit the Council General for bringing Prophet Allah and the Prophet back out front, even when it comes to these measures. So thank you all. Thank everyone who participated in this class, all who gave their time and energy to be a part of this class. Any more closing words you have, General?
No, I just want to say gratitude and praise Allah, honor to the Prophet, honor to our instructor, Nicole Williams El-Bey, for being consistent, because this is, we're doing this for, as long as I've been given the honor to do this. Being consistent is key. Because sometimes, that lower self want to come on board and you don't want to do this. And I'm sure that a lot of other people who carry the message of love, their own carnal nature will challenge them. Sometimes you don't want to show up. That's what the feeling is, but you overcome that. You stomp on that feeling and you crush that feeling beneath your feet. You understand it. And you rise above the fuss, lust, and all the disgust and be the message that you bring. So I just want to thank everybody who showed up on the panel. Thank all those who listen under the sound of our voice and give honor again where honor is due. Gratitude. Islam.
Islam, gratitude, Council General, for your leadership and all the work that you do on behalf of your people, your community, and your nation. Secretary of State, are you available?
You just want me to read the Holy Covenant?
Yes.
Okay, Islam. Mr. Shankar Bay already risen. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother has given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relations that bind you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Islam. Grand class, force.
Grand class.
Islam, grand class.
Peace and
Islam.
love.
Gratitude. Peace and love. Peace and
Peace
Long
love.
and
live
love.
Moorish
Peace and love.
America, and long live Moorish American.
Islam. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube. Islam, Islamism.
Gratitude.
Islam. Peace, goddess.
Yeah, grand class goddess Nicole Williams El-Bey doing
Gratitude.
it again on this Wednesday.
Gratitude for you all showing up. I appreciate it very much.
Hey, we
Peace
show
and
up,
love.
we show out. Gratitude.
Islamism without the schism.
Peace and love, God, man. Peace and love, everyone.
Love.